Hi, I'm Annie Lichny, and as always, it's such a wonderful gift to be here with you today to practice some meditation and mindfulness techniques together. We're going to just start and continue right on with our eyes closed and taking a comfortable posture, hopefully in a quiet place where we have a little bit of time where we won't be distracted. Feeling our comfortable posture, feeling our feet flat on the ground, just starting to tune in to here and now, feeling our legs and our seat making contact with a chair or a cushion, feeling our spine and our upright, dignified posture, but maybe tuning in to our shoulders too, recognizing that we could relax and soften them around this upright posture. Noticing our hands just resting comfortably somewhere on our legs. And we're going to breathe in and out of our nose, if that's comfortable for you. We want to do what's comfortable and what we know feels right for us. So by all means, do what's most comfortable, what you know is right for you. We're going to follow our breath with 3 breaths to begin. So much of the time, when we're spending some time focusing on the breath, we might be trying to control it. So let's take these 3 breaths and really recognize if we're controlling the breath or following the breath and being a witness to the breath. Just understanding how the breath is doing right now, noticing as we inhale and then exhale, if it's a short, choppy type of a breath, if it's an elongated, smooth type of a breath, maybe perhaps even a combination of the two. We're just noticing without trying to change a thing. It might tell us how we're doing from the inside out as we pay attention to the breath here. So we might start to notice how we are right now. And we'll just stay here with our eyes closed as we move into a guiding, doing a few breathing practices. And we could start to recognize that maybe we feel a sense of uneasiness, a bit of restlessness just right under the surface. We spend a lot of our days very busy, getting things done, accomplishing our to-do list. It's our culture. And what we realize is that right under the surface, maybe we feel a sense of rigidity, a little restlessness, uneasiness. Maybe it feels like overwhelm. Maybe it feels like I'm not getting enough done. There's so many different ways we might describe it for ourselves. And when we do these types of practices, these breathing practices, we're allowing the body to settle down. We're allowing the overthinking to start to subside and just sink into a more peaceful state of well-being and okayness. We spend so much time above the neck, so to speak, thinking as we go about our day, focused on the external world. And we can start to pay more attention in the body and recognize that the body can help calm down the overthinking, allow some of this uneasiness, this restlessness that we have just below the surface, allow some of it to just melt away a little bit. And we get a greater sense of well-being as we do it. So we're going to work with the full body and recognize this sense of sometimes we do live above the neck, but we're going to include the whole body now today as we start with a few breathing practices. The first is going to be this ocean breath, or it's called dragon breath, where we're engaging the vagus nerve, which is the connector and great communicator between the brain, all of the organs of the body, the heart, the lungs, the digestive system. Everything is engaged and involved through this vagus nerve. And we can engage it through this dragon breath, this fire type of a breath, and help calm everything down from the brain and through the whole body. On the inhale, we're going to breathe and bring all of our focus to the breath on the inhale, and pressing a little bit against the back of our throat, even on the inhale if this is possible. On the exhale, if the mouth were open, it's going to sound like an ocean or a fire breath. We're going to breathe this breath through our nose if this is possible. But when we use this type of a breath on the full exhale and really elongate the exhale, we're sending signals back to the primary hub of the vagus nerve that everything is okay, to come into a greater sense of calm through the whole body, to regulate the nervous system, and we restore any sense of that restlessness into a greater sense of peace. So let's go ahead and take about 10 to 12 of these breaths together. We'll breathe in. Again, if we can press against the back of the throat at all, even on the in-breath, give that a try if it's comfortable. Where you just feel the breath kind of surging against the back of the throat. And then the exhale. A deeply elongated exhale. We could feel it coming all the way from the lower belly and out the nose, using this ocean type of a breath, breathing against the back of the throat. When we notice we're caught in thoughts, just bring all of your attention back, all of your awareness back to this fire breath. Feel the engagement on the back of your throat. If you're having a hard time focusing and going up into the thinking mind, just be really specific on one place. Maybe try just focusing completely on the back of the throat. Feel the breath originating all the way down from the belly, all the way up on the inhale, and a full, elongated, intentionally slower exhale, pressing against the back of your throat with this ocean sound or fire breath, whichever you want to call it. We'll do one more together. And then the exhale, on the bottom of the exhale, just hold the breath out just for a slight pause, pressing every bit of stale air out. And then the inhale will naturally happen on its own. Just come into a normal flow of breath. Let the breath breathe itself. As we resume into this natural rhythm of the breath, notice if the rhythm has changed at all from when we first checked at the beginning of practice. How are we doing now? How is the breath? What's the quality of the breath? And then check into the body, coming out of the head and coming in and feeling the sensations in the body, not what we're thinking about, not what we're thinking about the sensations of the body, but the actually felt sense of the body. And we notice this vibrational field that's within us, this electrical kind of a current. It feels shimmery. It's been described as kind of this silvery, glimmery type of sensation in the body. Maybe we could feel it through our legs or feet, arms, hands, in the throat, in the torso, up through the head. Inhabit the body and feel the sensations that become obvious within the body. So let's take 3 more of those breaths together. And again, on the in-breath, the breath is going to originate from deeply in the belly, not just a diaphragmatic type of a breath. And it's going to come all the way up on the in-breath. And then the exhale is going to be that deep ocean sounding breath. So you really hear it. You feel it in your throat. You hear this hissing on the exhale. Filling everything up. A deep release exhale. Elongate the breath on the exhale, pressing against the back of your throat. And if you need somewhere to focus, again, really focus on the back of your throat on this last breath together. Inhaling, a full, slow, intentional, focused inhale. And then release every little bit of stale air pressing against the back of your throat. If it's possible, breathing out the nose, all the way out. And just when you think you've gotten to the bottom of the breath, see if there's any more air that we can expel. And then go back to the natural breath. witnessing the quality of the breath. With our focus, we can be our own witness of the quality of our breathing, noticing if it's a little more velvety and smooth, a little softer. We could start to feel this sense of vibrational field within the body. Notice this sense of openness or spaciousness, perhaps or possibly a little less restless and rigid. As we engage the nervous system in this breathing technique. Perhaps feeling this tingling electrical quality through the arms and the legs, through the torso, somewhere in the head. Sometimes I feel it up at the very tip top of my head. So sometimes we fill up in our to-do list mindset. We fill up in all of the concerns and worries through the thinking mind. And we can remind ourselves how important it is to empty all of that out. So we'll take a few breaths together, and they're going to be very, very, very slow. And when we're at the top of the inhale, we're going to hold the breath for just a pause, a few seconds, and then a very, very slow exhale. So we'll try this technique, and we're going to invite a filling up of space and the air that's around us, all of the molecules of oxygen that are all around us right now, where we're sitting in the room we're in, or if we're outside. We're going to fill up very, very slowly. So it's a very slow breath on the inhale, filling all the way up with all of these molecules of wonderful oxygenated air. Pause at the top. Feeling within the body, very, very slow emptying out. And we could talk to ourselves here and tell ourselves with kindness and care, empty out of all of the frustrating conversations I've had, of all of the to-do list I've had, of something that broke in my kitchen that I've had, all of the negative experiences that have maybe been building within the thinking mind, anything that's we feel is rigid or holding us back, worrying about something in the future. Empty all of that out right now. We can do this for ourselves using the breath. Empty it all out. When you get to the bottom of the breath, there's nothing left to exhale. Take a little pause, and we'll fill ourselves back up with this spacious oxygen all around us, where we are right now. Very slow, slow breath, filling very slowly. We could even imagine filling ourselves up, filling our bodies up, and moving our way up throughout the body, filling the breath into the body, all the way up to the top of the head. If that visualization is something that works for you, by all means. Take a pause at the top of the inhale, hold the breath, feeling in the body. And a caring, kind emptying out. Empty out any frustrations we know we've been thinking about, holding on to, any activities that maybe were painful or caused us some discomfort. we could empty those out. Just empty out, empty out. Release it on the exhale. Very, very slowly, gradually. Just emptying this body out of anything we don't need anymore. We can just let go of it all right now. And get to the bottom of that breath. And take a pause. And just come back to the normal sense of breath, breathing on its own. Feeling how the body is feeling right now. Noticing perhaps we can feel a greater sense of this field of the body now. So we're not only feeling above the neck, but we're feeling now more specifically this field of this body below the neck. Feeling this tingling, alive sense, this spacious openness, the whole body. Feeling more at home within ourselves, perhaps, and hopefully a little less restless and rigid. You can use this technique of emptying out and filling up when you notice maybe this sense of overthinking. Thank you very much for your time that we can spend together in practice. It is precious.